YouTube, man, what's going on? Now, you guys saw I put out a video recently, just yesterday, talking about Sharife Cooper and those insane measurements that just had happened. Now, if you didn't peep at the time, Sharife Cooper was actually listed as 6'4" in the NBA draft combine, which in my opinion, of course, is crazy. I even said this dude is not 6'4" and he did not grow that much since he was playing in college basketball. There's just no way in my mind. And most likely, as I said, it was probably his hair. But man, you guys put a lot of interesting comments in the comment section, man. And one thing a lot of people were comparing Sharife to was there were two pictures, one with his coach who was about 5'11", and there's no way Sharife Cooper was 6'4" in that photo, because Sharife Cooper was just around the coach's height. And in addition to this, there was a picture also with CP3, and CP3, we all know this dude is not 6'4", he is much shorter than that. And in that picture, Sharife Cooper is actually indeed shorter than CP3. And what would that mean? Sharife Cooper is nowhere near 6'4", and this could not have happened so quickly. Now, in addition to this, and him being this crazy measurement that they have listed here, the NBA Draft Combine has actually since removed that listing as him being 6'4", and he even put up a tweet on Twitter. I'm going to flash it on the screen here, and he actually said that it was capped, that he was not 6'4", so clearly a lot of the things that were going on were just hearsay, and whatever happened, most likely they measured from the top of his hair, and he was actually ended up being 6'4" with all that hair. Now, with that being said, what is crazy to me is the fact that he never said anything or while he was at the draft combine. Of course, when you're getting your height measured, what's going to happen? They're going to look at you, and most likely they're going to tell you how tall you measured. And he was probably laughing when he saw that, but we know right now for sure Sharife Cooper is nowhere near 6'4". He's probably around, in my opinion, I'd give him a 6'1", maybe at that. But this dude, in my opinion, would have been crazy if he was actually 6'4" and really that height. But that being said, I'm very excited to see what he's going to do in the future. This guy has a bright future ahead of him. Oh man, and I have to address this. Now, someone in the comment section actually noted and stated that Sharife Cooper's finishing ability is not there. He cannot finish around the basket, and the fact that I do not watch Sharife Cooper's games, basically trying to call me out. Now, this is crazy because if you watch any of my videos, I've basically been covering Sharife Cooper and his entire Auburn career for a very long time now. I updated even when he played Brandon Boston and a bunch of those games that he was playing. And to say I don't watch those games and really give you an update is clearly someone just not paying attention to my videos. And the fact that you say Sharife Cooper cannot finish around the basket is insane. We all know by now this dude's finishing ability and ability to absorb contact at the basket, especially for his height, being around 6'6", is crazy. It's off the charts for his ability to do that. So you definitely have to look at his game, and there are a lot of people who are clearly not informed about my channel or what Sharife Cooper really does on the court, because of course, man, Sharife really is that guy, and this guy's gonna have an excellent NBA career. I can already see it happening. It's only a matter of time, man. Hopefully he does have a crazy growth spurt and gets a lot taller. I would love to see that, because we would be talking about a whole new level of basketball if he was a tad bit taller. The way he can dribble, of course that shooting ability does need to improve, but he has a bright future. Definitely does a ton of things on the court that make him a valuable asset, and will make him a valuable asset in the future to whatever NBA team he does get on. And man, you guys know, like I said yesterday, hopefully it's the Knicks. I want to see this dude go and play on the Knicks and go crazy. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about the NBA draft comment actually getting this measurement wrong? Now, when we talk about players going to the NCAA, man, there's a lot of news that has been coming out of very recently, and the big reason why, in my opinion, man, we got to talk about Dior Johnson committing to Oregon. Now, I want to go back to this because I saw a lot of very interesting comments talking about this and basically calling me out in the comment section as well. Now, number one, I want to talk about the fact that a lot of people were saying Dior Johnson was probably getting paid under the table. Now, if we look at it, one, his career has always been an opportunist type of career. He is always someone who's going to go from school to school and try to get the best opportunity for himself. Now, think about it. Where has he gone so far? This dude's played at IMG at one point, Oak Hill. He played with J Gup He's been all over a bunch of different high schools, and even at the time, I thought he was going to go head-to-head against Bronny James at Centennial High School when they did play each other, but someone actually informed me in the comments section, and I'm not 100% sure if this is true, but we'll go with it, that he no longer even attends that school. So I'm not sure what school he attends nowadays, but if we really look at it, he is someone who's going from opportunity and place to place to try to find the best spot for him. He's clearly not afraid to make those moves, and man, a lot of people are even saying he probably was not going to end up being at Oregon for that long or even stay committed there when it's time to actually go and play basketball. Now, this may be true, but a lot of people are saying he was actually getting paid under the table, and the reason I bring that up is because if we look at the NBL and what they were actually offering him, man, it was crazy. They were actually reports coming out and stated that he was going to be getting about 1.25 million. Of course, these were just estimated on what his deal would be, but think about it. If you're an 18-year-old kid around that age and you're actually going to have to end up playing professional basketball and they're going to hand you all that money, of course you're going to be very interested in it. No one 18 or even his age, of course everyone is going to look at that money. It's going to be something you want to look at and man, say, I want to go over there, get the bag, and then probably go to the NBA right after. Now, him going to college was honestly very shocking in my opinion, and man, low-key he may have been paid under the table. Now, of course, this is all speculation, but if you're someone who's going to turn down 1.25 mil to go to college where you're probably not going to get paid, it's crazy. But this honestly brings me into another segment here that I want to talk about players being able to profit off of their likeness, because something has just recently come in the news and this is breaking. Now I'm going to read the tweet verbatim so you guys don't come for me in the comments section, but this is according to Ross. This dude's a verified account on Twitter. You guys can go check it out, but I'm going to put it on the screen here. Now this says news. The NCAA is targeting a solution that waives enforcement of bylaws to allow athletes NIL rights, sources tell in that at. Now this, if you guys don't know about this is actually a law basically that was going to be put in place to allow players to make money off of their likeness, try to get to the bag in college. So it's not so crazy. You guys know right now a lot of people don't want to go to college, especially the top recruits, because of course you can't make any type of bread. Now if you're good enough, man, you probably make the league in a couple years, probably then 1 year if you're that good, and it's not going to be that long that you're in college. But of course, again, these guys are on scholarships, so they're probably not worried about paying for tuition. But of course, some of the daily expenses, things like that, colleges are not always going to be paying for those. Now, what this basically says, and if you guys read this list, I'm going to put this tweet up here too. Let's take a look at this. Now, on July 1st, student athletes can monetize NIL through hosting camps, private lessons, merchandise, apparel, podcasting. There's a ton of different stuff here. Even YouTube is on here, Twitch. So I think we're definitely going to see an insight to a lot more of these college basketball players or even NCAA athletes in general. Now, of course, this is crazy to me, but the reason why I like this so much is because these guys should be able to make money off of their name. And maybe this is something that attracted Dior Johnson and swayed him more to look at this and say, okay, maybe I actually want to go to college. It's not going to be so bad. These rules seem like they're about to change anyway. It's not the worst idea for me to try to go to college, which is the regular route. A lot of people, it's definitely proven if you can perform at that level, go to that route, go play in college basketball, see what happens. And I'm not going to be broke. I'll be able to make something because I am one of these popular, top-ranked players in the country. Now, I got to say, it was definitely not a bad move. And Oregon, of course, is a good basketball school. They have had some good teams in the past, so I can't doubt it. But man, it's crazy to me and almost makes me think of one thing right here. It makes me think of Jelly Fam. And the reason I say this is because they were a prime example of people who could not profit off of their likeness and name. At the time, the Jelly Fam movement was the biggest of its time. Everyone was looking at it saying, oh, I want to join Jelly. I love the movement. And it was really a worldwide thing. It was not just a movement that was happening in New York. Now, the reason I say this is because they lost out on a ton of money by not being able to sell their merchandise. People would have bought that. I'm sure even signed basketballs. There's a ton of things, even hoodies. There's a ton of things that they could have done to really try to get their name out there. But a lot of people didn't notice they couldn't put merch out there because the NCAA, of course, would have came for them and it would have been a huge big deal. I'm sure they would have got suspended or something like that, and things would not end up looking too good for them. them. But now the fact that they're going to be able to do this, man, I'm thinking a lot of these popular high school athletes that go to college are going to end up making a good amount of money in college. It's nothing crazy, but at least they're not going to be going hungry, or we're not going to hear any of those crazy stories that happen to these college athletes. But they should probably be getting taken care of very well, and I think this is a great addition to the NCAA. But someone corrected me in the comments. It's really not the NCAA pushing for this. I'm sure there are a lot of outside pressure and a lot of outside forces that are making them make these changes. But you guys let me know in the comment section down below. We had a ton to talk about today. Let me know, what do you think about Sharife Cooper and that mistaken measurement? It's crazy to look at, but let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about that? And if he did have a growth spurt, man, what would we be talking about? How good of a player do you think he really could have been if he was around that 6'4"? Who knows his growth time, and he could still have that growth spurt. It is not over yet. Now, in addition to this, let me know about these bylaws that you think in Dior Johnson's commitment to Oregon. Is it really the move? Was it really the move for him to go there? Did he get paid under the table? Let me know in the comments down below. You guys know a lot of these guys probably do get a little something under the table that we'll never hear about, or will come out in the wash years later down the road. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about them profiting as well? And of course, like I always say, recommend any video ideas for me down below. I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say. I'm always receptive to that, and I'll make sure we get those fire videos out for you. But let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like this video. It's free. Subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications to get a notification every time I upload a new video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Selling each of them out.